I hate making videos using AI. It feels cheap, and I'm using other people's work to elevate my own. And I can't even call it my own work because it's produced by an overglorified curve-fitting algorithm. Or at least, that is a common criticism of AI-generated media. Or even what Kreia from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 would. It is true that AI has contributed a lot to the content I make, but I still buy many of the criticisms about it, much like Kreia. And since you guys are interested in both, that's what we're gonna talk about today. And if you're new to the channel, do check out the rest of my content if fanfictions appeal to you a little. In the Star Wars universe, droids have become so integrated in day-to-day life that it is rather hard to imagine what it will be without them. Even in the most remote and hostile planets like say Korriban, Tatooine, or Hoth, where there are people, there will always be droids. Kreia makes her disdain for such automation evidently clear, when out of nowhere she just strikes T3M4 with a lightning bolt, likely frustrated by the sound of his motors as he consistently moves about the Ebon Hawk. The poor little guy didn't deserve it. And even though she was proud to have trained Revan, one of the greatest Jedi Knights of all time, she was troubled by his fascination with droids. Revan was utilizing assassin droids from the HK series to further his political goals, eliminating potential opponents and threats to his path to power. As a proponent of heavily relying on one's own skill set, apart from the Force even, it is no wonder that she resents such automation. If people begin to give in to fully automating their everyday lives, from their mundane tasks to even the greatest of all things, they will miss out on so many valuable lessons in life. It's something that we have seen in the KOTOR game, where Zaku is this thriving utopia and automation provides for everything. Even from the few glimpses we see of the people there, you can tell that the younger generation is rather pampered and don't really have survival instincts in the face of danger, taking their own safety for granted. And besides just missing out on certain growth potential, the proliferation of automation also means giving away control of your life to a lifeless, soulless entity, which is abhorrent to Kreia. Droids are lifeless beings who can't be read through the Force. One can only sense the humming of their energies, but to read its inner thoughts and processes, that's rather unheard of. As an experienced user in the Force, one who is used to manipulating others and drawing out their innermost thoughts through telepathy, the idea of beings being totally immune to mind reading and deaf to the Force would really be a nuisance in Kreia's eyes, because of their unpredictability and her lack of ability to get them to do what she wants. She talks to you about healing the broken galaxy on a massive scale, of wars fought, of great civilizations crumbling, the fact that she knows very little about these things that occupy a very vital part in the lives of all beings in the galaxy. It is likely that it is a bruise on her ego to some degree, because these are just some things that are out of her purview and out of her control. It doesn't help the fact that her former student Revan had gotten so used to using it that he was able to chart the course of galactic history, albeit for a short amount of time, using assassin droids to destabilize entire cultures, such as the Echani. But for Kreia, all she wants is a little silence so that she can hear the galaxy, from the Force directly, and to her, droids are mere distractions. But with all that talk about why Kreia dislikes automation, she doesn't actually oppose you from developing the skill set around it. In your companion dialogue with her in Knights of the Old Republic 2, you can choose a certain skill you want to develop, of which are the ability to repair machinery or to hack into computers. She doesn't oppose your decision, but rather introduces an interesting way you can integrate your meditation in the Force with your aptitude to computers and machines. Just as she meditates on the Force by listening to the flows of the currents of the galaxy, you can meditate on the Force by focusing on repairing machines, listening to the moving parts, and developing a moving meditation of sorts. In other words, though the machines may be blind to the Force, they can still be useful to you to develop a certain routine of order and enlightenment. Come to think of it, R2-D2's reaction when he was just floating mid-air when Luke was meditating in Empire Strikes Back is just adorable. While Kreia clearly is not a big fan of automation herself, like any pragmatist, she still sees that it does has its benefits if it's put to good use. Ultimately, you should still be the one in control of your life, not this bunch of robots, learning to use it and value add to your person and your work instead. It's honestly amazing that technology has advanced so much to enable us to do so many things with ease and whatnot, but I think it's important to still remember what makes us human. I think Kreia would find it scary that in our world, AI girlfriends are a growing trend and people just no longer have genuine connections with one another. It's too similar to the literal droids that the Jedi have become, following orders from the Senate, thinking they are following the Force, but in fact they are just going through the motions like a deadpan robot, forgetting the whole purpose of the Jedi Order and what it means to be a Jedi, being on the ground to help those who truly are in need. In fact, that is a fate worse than death, to be a living being, yet have no heart. And unfortunately, it is a reality these days. But as for how AI unfolds on our world, and for this channel, only time will tell. I just hope my content is still as fun as enjoyable nonetheless. And that's it for this video. If you would like to check out my other video where I talk a bit more in depth about the status of droids in the Star Wars galaxy, it should be right there on the top right hand corner of the screen. If not, thanks for watching as always, and may the Force be with you.